All right, let's dive into one of the most unbelievable, just wild stories in modern tech history, the Theranos scandal. This is a story all about massive ambition, incredible deception, and a promise that honestly was just way too good to be true. And it's a promise that, in the end, put real people's lives on the line.
I mean, just think about that for a second. What if, with a single, totally painless prick of your finger, you could unlock hundreds of medical tests, instantly get a complete picture of your health? That was the idea Theranos sold to the world. And you can see why it was so seductive, right? It captured the imagination of literally everyone, investors, doctors, and especially patients. So, yeah, let's start right at the beginning with that revolutionary promise. Because you've got to understand, Theranos wasn't just selling some new machine. No, they were selling a vision of the future, a future where every single one of us could take control of our own health, right from our homes, instantly and without pain. And this was the magic trick. This was the core claim. No more giant needles in your arm. No more filling up vial after vial of blood. No more agonizing waits for lab results. Their tech was supposed to be this miracle device that would make healthcare monitoring cheap and easy for everybody. But, well, as we're about to see, it was all a fantasy.
Okay, so behind all that slick marketing, the charismatic CEO, and the futuristic vision, something else was going on. A much, much darker story was unfolding. That shiny promise of a healthcare revolution, it was basically a cover for a pretty terrifying secret. So now, let's pull back that curtain and see what was really happening inside Theranos.
Out in the open, the company was the picture of confidence. You'd hear executives saying things just like this, all the time. They were constantly telling investors, regulators, and you and me that their technology was flawless and ready to go. And that confidence, it was absolutely crucial. It's what brought in billions of dollars and got the public to trust them completely. And this slide, wow, it just lays the whole story out, plain and simple. The gap between their story and the truth was just massive. On one hand, you have this incredible claim of revolutionary, super accurate testing. But the reality, internally, their own tests were failing over and over again. And worse, they started just making up the data, faking their own results to pretend the tech actually worked.
And look, this wasn't a one-time mistake or a simple bug they were trying to fix. This timeline shows a deliberate, systematic pattern of lying. From misrepresenting their tech to faking results, Theranos consistently chose deception over truth, putting their bottom line way ahead of patient safety.
You know, a lie that big can only hold up for so long. And when the truth about Theranos finally exploded into the open, the consequences were, well, they were devastating. This wasn't just another company going bust. This was a scandal that sent shockwaves through healthcare, Wall Street, and the legal world. And here's the part that's truly heartbreaking: the human cost. Real people were put in serious danger. They were making huge, life-altering decisions about their health based on test results that were fundamentally wrong. This wasn't just a business failure. It was a deep betrayal that put people's lives at risk. Of course, after all that, the legal hammer came down, and it came down hard. Federal regulators launched these intense investigations, and the top executives, they ended up facing serious criminal charges for fraud. The company got hit with massive penalties, and it sent a huge warning shot across the entire industry. In the money, it was a complete and total wipeout. Think about it. This company was once valued at over $9 billion. But when the truth came out, investor trust just evaporated. All that money vanished into thin air, and the company completely collapsed. It went from being the darling of Silicon Valley to the ultimate cautionary tale. So after all of that, what do we learn from the wreckage of Theranos? Because this isn't just some story about one failed company. It's a really important lesson for all of us about the future, about technology, and about who we choose to trust. It really boils down to three huge takeaways. First, ethics are not optional. Especially when you're dealing with people's health, lying isn't just bad for business, it's incredibly dangerous. Second, we need strong oversight. Those regulations aren't just red tape, they are essential for keeping us safe. And third, transparency is everything. If you make a bold claim, you better be able to prove it with independent facts. And ultimately, what the Theranos scandal really drills home is this idea of stakeholder protection. It's a simple but powerful principle. Any company making big claims, especially about our health, has to be verified by outside experts. We have to do this to protect everyone involved, the patients, the investors, and the public. Which leaves us with this big final question. Because let's be real, Theranos won't be the last company to make huge promises. In this race for the next big thing, the challenge for all of us is to support real innovation while demanding the safeguards we need to prevent another disaster built on a sea of lies.